Here are the 3 types of Rebel Trooper that have appeared so far in the Star Wars Black Series line. Despite being one of the main factions in the original trilogy, it's kinda amazing how few generic Rebel characters have been made for the Black Series, especially compared to the Empire, which has had a version of every single trooper that has ever thrown on some plasteel armor and started goose-stepping around. So I just got my 2 Endor Rebel Commandos and thought this was a good time to take a look at those brave few Rebel Troopers we've gotten so far. Let's start where it all began, the Rebel Fleet Troopers. Now, I'm a sucker for this design. The big soup bowl on his head adds a futuristic flair while the blue dress shirt screams working man. This figure is based on this silver fox from this one shot in A New Hope. He's probably named Ubu Gubu or something like that. He comes with his blaster, a removable helmet, and the Death Star plans. This vest is made of soft plastic and could come off if you really wanted it to. He has a lot of the standard articulation you would expect from a basic figure. The arms have a single elbow joint and bonus butterfly joints. The right hand has a vertical hinge and the left has a horizontal one. The knees are double jointed and he has an ab crunch, but really can't go forward very far. The feet move like feet. And the head and neck move a little bit, but not a crazy amount. The Fleet Trooper is a decent starting point for Rebel Troopers in the Black Series line. Now let's move on to the Hoth Rebel Trooper. Starting off with the vibe check, I think this is one of the best trooper designs Hasbro has made for the Black Series. The coolest, thing about these frosty boys is the really clever ways they added customizability and visual variety to this army builder. The main draw is the swappable face, of course. Every release of the figure so far has come with these 2 different faces that you can switch between to add some spice to your display. On top of that, they come with these movable goggles and face coverings to change up their looks even more. You can put the scarf up over his mouth or down around his neck, or leave it off entirely. The goggles are on here with this little piece of thread, and the visor is slightly transparent too. There's a lot of detail in the sculpt, and the paint on my copies are pretty good overall. The little vest thing is made with a soft rubber or plastic and connects to the backpack with these little tabbies. For blasters, he comes with the same blaster pistol as the Fleet Trooper, minus paint apps, along with this blaster rifle, also sans paint. The blaster pistol fits in this holster on his side, and they added this little compartment in the backpack to store all the pieces you aren't using. Some real Krang energy here. Rah! I wish more figures had features like this. For articulation, the elbows have single joints again with butterflies in the shoulders. The hands have an up and down on the right hand and a back and forth on the left. One little weird articulation I've noticed is that this little antenna moves on this figure, but it doesn't on this one. Is that a running change or something? Overall, the Hoth Trooper is really cool and a template for future army builders. Which brings us to the last set of troopers. Let's finally look at the Endor Rebel Commandos. These are deluxe releases, which apparently means they made the blister pack thicker. Thanks, Hasbro. I'm glad I got mine on sale. So first off, the general vibe of the figure is very good. For accessories, he comes with the same blasters as the Hoth Trooper, once again without paint apps, along with this backpack, bandolier, and belt. The blasters are unpainted, and the belt, bandolier, and backpack all have little bits of silver paint on the buckles and straps and stuff. The swappable face tech from the Hoth Troopers returns, which lets you choose between default character and Santa Claus. Is he Captain Rex? Is he Nick Sant? Will we ever know the touch of a woman? Let me know what you think in the comments. The faces are in there pretty snugly, so I warmed them up when I swapped them. I think the sculpts and paint apps on the faces look really good. This figure's backpack does not feature the cool extra face storage that the Hoth figure had, which is a huge bummer. So you'll have to find a place to store all these extra little faces you got laying around. The backpack does have this little strap though, which will hold either of the blasters when you're not using them. And on top of that, the faces are not quite compatible between the 2 figures. You can kind of fake it in there, but it's not perfect. You can only go one way here. As for the articulation, it's pretty standard. You get the modern single joint elbows and knees and all the business in the ankles. Once again, you get the butterfly joints in the shoulders too. That's a welcome addition for all 3 of these figures that they totally could have skipped on, but it's really nice that they had it in there. And the head and neck move around like crazy. Woo, 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 woo. I think if you can get this trooper for less than the deluxe price, it's a real gem with some small flaws. I think it would be a smart idea for Hasbro to do something similar to the Selfie series with these Rebel Troopers. More swappable faceplates would cut down on the amount of material they would have to use for a custom head sculpt, and even more variety and army buildability to these figures. Alien heads and a female version of these troopers would be appreciated too. Just release them under the Battlefront name or something. Stormtroopers have gotten a lot of love in the line, and I think it's time for our brave insurgents to get some more of that love too. If you like this, you might like one of my other videos about the Star Wars Black Series figures. Check them out.